Well, bowling fans, Classic Lanes Greenfield is a site today, the 2015 Wisconsin Women's Open. With me again, Joe Serrar from Bowlers Pro Shop. And Joe, got the young bowler movement out there. The top three bowlers today, all bowlers recently out of college for the young ladies. But then we got the crafty veteran on the bottom of the stepladder with Chris Holshoe. So can experience outdo just pure power nowadays?
Well, you could, but recent Hall of Famer Chris Holshoe, you should mention. And we'll see if experience wins out over youth. It's a coin flip, if you ask me.
Our top seed today, Samantha Kelly. Second seed, our defending champion, Katie Zwiefelhofer. And we're going to have our opening match when we come back with Amber Cuishin and Chris Holshoe. And we'll be back with that from Classic Lanes Greenfield in just one moment.
Barbiere's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mound Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee. Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com.
Opening match of the 2015 Wisconsin Women's Open from Classic Lanes in Greenfield. Number 4 seed Amber Cuishin, number 3 seed Chris Holshoe battling it out here. Joey working her way towards that $700 first place prize on top today, and first time we've seen Amber on any of our events.
Yes, it is. Amber, one of the fine young bowlers in our area. So we have youth against experience in this first match.
Yes, we do, and all recently graduated college players in the top couple of seeds, with Katie Zwiefelhofer, defending champ, second seed, waiting in the wings for the winner of this match. And our top seed today, Samantha Kelly. So bowlers we've seen on TV before, young bowlers that have thrown it quite well on TV in the past. And both these players are going to get out of the opening match to take on Katie Zwiefelhofer.
We all know Katie, and we see Amber's opening shot, a fast 8, no deflection, but she covers the spare with her plastic ball.
Yeah, Amber has a conventional game, I guess you could say. Gets a little under. I mean, she's very petite. She's just above 5 foot in height. Chris Holshoe here, Wisconsin Hall of Famer, recently inducted. She's also in the Waukesha and Milwaukee Bowling Halls of Fame as well for the women, and you can see why with shots like that.
Yeah, she dropped that one right where she wanted it, high flush in the pocket. Both girls, similar rev rates. More traditional down and in type play for Chris, and Amber maybe just a little stronger hooking action, which can be to your advantage at times and disadvantage at other times.
Yes, indeed. And with this pattern, it's the Abbey Road pattern developed by Kegel, so it's just above what these ladies would see if they were bowling at a PBA Tour or a PWBA Tour event. For degree of difficulty, pretty slick in the middle. You can see right there, ball not turning over very hard on the end. And in that case, for Chris Holshoe, she leaves herself weak 10 pin.
And I'm sure the girls are accustomed to leading 10 pins, and they do not miss the pocket too much. They're not going to spray the ball as much as maybe some of the men may.
Yeah, well, Amber was our leading qualifier today before the match play rounds, and with Amber leading qualifying, she only averaged 199, so this pattern played very tough for the ladies. Chris Holshoe, a big 252 the last game of qualifying to vault herself from 12th position into 6th going into our match play semifinals, and then Chris advanced after match play into the 3rd position for the TV show.
Do you think that large poster of Belmo staring at these young women bowling is a distraction in any way?
I don't think so. I mean, as good looking as Jason Belmonte is, I think they're focused on the task at hand, even though that big banner from High Five Gear on the approach on lane 12. And how about that for tripping out the 4-7 Joe?
Yeah, we can see Amber kind of moved her feet in a little bit left of where she had been. Just trust that ball a little bit. I mean, the oil here can be reasonably heavy toward the center portion of the lane, but the track area, definitely friction is present.
Both bowlers looking at 20 in the first, but with Amber on that strike in the second, she can take an early 10-pin lead by putting a double up on the board.
So I think the scoring pace will be low today or moderately high?
I think if you throw a 210 to 220 game, you're going to walk out of a match a winner today. The pace picked up in match play as tournaments usually does in tournaments. You get some of the bowlers in the field that were kind of taking the oil around on the pattern. They weren't sure where to play. They may not have been as accurate. You take those bowlers out of play going into match play, and the scores went up a little bit. Most of the bowlers averaged about 210 to 215 in match play, but I think a 220 game in these TV matches should get you out of here with a win.
And Chris, 5-step approach, long and lean. Definitely got that out a little bit, and ball kind of hung.
Yeah, I don't know if it looks like she's kind of talking to herself on the way back. Not sure if just a little timing issue, and yeah, ball just looked like it had nothing on it. It just kind of rolled differently in the first couple of shots we saw from Chris.
Right, but I mean, she should have no trouble with the conversion here. And one thing is, sometimes you miss wide, you leave that pesky washout when it hooks on the back end, but when you get it wide enough, you don't pay the penalty.
Yeah, ball sometimes will even take the 6-10 out if you miss it really wide on an errant opening ball shot. And a nice cover there, but Chris Holshoe down by 12 pins after 3 frames.
You mentioned earlier, Hall of Fame inductee. I believe that was in 2014.
I believe so. So, and her teammate from her years with the Miller Lights, that great team of the 80s and 90s, Gina Darashevsky, the proprietor here at Classic Lanes in Greenfield. And Gina was very happy to see Chris shoot that big last game in qualifying and make the match play and now TV rounds. And you just mentioned about a washout, Jody.
Right, and back-to-back shots, a little right of target, and that one had that little bit of back-end hook and ends up penalizing the bowler more. So she'll have to cross over on this shot, go left of the head pin, and hope the head pin takes out the 10.
Ball will continue down the line and take out the 2-4. And I don't know, I don't know if you got an earpiece in the ear there for me, Joey, or what, but that was a textbook conversion by Chris Holshoe.
Yeah, you cannot draw it up any better. That's one thing the girl bowlers tend to be, is extremely accurate on spare conversions, split attempts.
Yeah, many times, especially I see with working with the youth bowlers in high school bowling, you'll get higher field percentages for spares, easily 10 to 15% higher for the girls in a particular division of competition than the boys.
I remember coming a little bit of half pocket there, kind of paralyzed that 5-pin a little bit. But both girls, 5-step approach, not power players, more strokers. Got some unusual pin action there. Fortunate to leave just the 7. She should go cross lane right at it. Perfectly done.
As you see with a lot of younger players today, even with those that don't have large hook balls, on the first ball they'll switch to that polyester ball for the spare and really take the lane out of play for conversions.
It takes discipline and patience to learn your spare ball. I mean, bowlers tend to trust that spare ball as much as a golfer may trust his putter. One of the more reliable clubs in the bag. You need to love that spare ball if you're going to use it. You not regret using it when you have to throw it.
Absolutely. Take some practice. And Amber Quishan looking for that strike in the High Five Gear 5th frame for the $25 gift certificate from High Five Gear. Unfortunately, packs the pocket a little too strong and leaves a 7-pin.
No half pocket hit there. We'll watch it finish through. Finished right by the 8-pin. Sometimes you need a little bit of deflection to carry 10.
Yeah, and even though Amber's ball speed only about 14 miles an hour, definitely has a strong roll and the power she needs to drive through the pocket on the back end of the lane, but a little too high flush on that shot.
Yeah, she maintains her lead, but still anybody's match.
Yeah, 14 pins the lead right now.
Chris needs to find that pocket again. I mean, she looked good on her opening shot.
Yeah, I don't think it's the nerves. I mean, she's been on the lights before. She's made the trios competitions we've had here for the ladies at Classic Lanes in Greenfield a couple of times. And
much better roll, good release on that, and played just that, probably a board more direct toward the 1-3.
2 strikes in that lane. This is the lane she struggled on, the left lane here, lane 13 at Classic Lanes in Greenfield. Needs to find a way to get flush in the pocket.
Creates a little knee bend in the approach setup. Nice straight swing. Good follow through. And that was a good shot. Solid 10-pin. 6-pin wrapped around that 10.
Yeah, just a bad break there for Chris. She gets that ball in the pocket a quarter-inch forward or a quarter-inch backward, and that 6-pin does the job off the sideboard to take the 10 out. Unfortunately, 6 around the 10, and that's going to leave, with a spare conversion here, getting into the commercial break, Chris Holschuh down by 14 pins.
Yeah, that's like a little mini dagger there because you need that double to keep pace with your opponent. Should make the spare, no problem.
Perfect cover to get in the commercial break. Joe Sir and I will be back from Classic Lanes in Greenfield for the rest of this opening match in the 2015 Wisconsin Women's Open after this short break.
Barbier's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mountain Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee. Due to time constraints, we had the bowlers bowl through the commercial break. Amber Quishan stepping up with a 14-pin lead in her part of the 6th frame, gets all 10 back in the pit. Trying to extend that lead with a double in the 7th. However, comes up high, leaves the 3-6 combination. Moves cross lane for the spare with that polyester bowling ball. Just gets the 6-pin out on the conversion. Chris Holschuh looking to get some pins back in this match. Steps up in the 7th, comes up high, leaves a 4-7 combination. Cross lane for the spare, gets both pins with the bowling ball. And down 16 pins, Chris Holschuh steps up in the 8th frame. Kicks the 10-pin out late to stay within 16 pins. Joe Serrano and Phil Bridle back with the action here from Classic Lanes in Greenfield.
Chris Holschuh, her maximum score right now, 222. Amber Quisian, however, can shoot 238 if she were to strike out the last 3 frames. Amber very deliberate. Here's up a good pre-shot routine for all these players. Always the first thing you should do to help yourself get in a quality mindset to make a good shot.
Yeah, and that was just light enough to carry that mixer. Carries the 4-pin forward, so she stays, let's say, even with Chris's strike in the 8th frame. And double here would almost salt it away.
Almost. As impressive as you get to see some of the youth players, especially the boys that we've had with throwing pins across the deck 2 or 3 times, with a slower ball speed, sometimes on these light mixing hits, bowlers like Amber don't get the bad breaks of something missing another pin. Everything's a little bit slower, and it has a chance to contact each other, coming back and forth across the pin deck.
Yeah, and that was a great shot. She trusted it. Nice loose swing. And there's nothing wrong in carrying a light wall shot or mixer. It's just like tripping a 4, tripping a 9-pin.
Right now, 26 pins is the lead for Amber Quishan, but it can go back down to 16 pins if Chris Holschuh can get a strike here in the 9th frame and get a double of her own up on the board.
Chris knows that's a must shot and high hard one. Almost looked like it might creep high.
Yeah, I think she just kind of came over the top of that one a little bit and just changed the axis rotation where the ball didn't grab the lane as hard when it hit the 19 feet of dry in this pattern.
Finish right behind the 5-pin. So she'll need for sure the 1st and the 2nd. It all depends if Amber marks on the 10th.
Yeah. Definitely needs this first one here to put any type of pressure on Amber Quisian. And that's just right out of her hand, Joe.
Yeah, that was like her earlier frames, frame 2 and 3, I believe, where she went a little wide of the pocket. Not a lot of recovery for Chris when she misses by a board or 2 right.
No, we saw in our last shot, sometimes you're better off with the straighter lines as she's playing. If you're going to make a miss left, and you can't strike 98% of the time unless you contact the head pin somehow.
Yeah, this would be a nice time for bowling to have a mulligan, such as golf, where she gets to take that shot over. Another great spare conversion, her 2nd washout she made this game.
Clean for 10 frames. You can't ask for more, getting out under the TV lights. But
well, you can ask for more.
You could ask for a couple
of doubles. I mean, a double would have been nice.
Yes. A couple of doubles would have put her right back into this match, but unfortunately for Chris Holschuh, she's going to be going home with 4th place money today. Still a great showing, a strong women's field we have here today at Classic Lanes in Greenfield. Bowlers from Wisconsin and Northern Illinois making the trip here.
Yeah, a little left, but finishes with a 197. Good showing.
Yeah, I think she's not happy with the end result, but I think she's pretty happy with getting out there and shooting a .197 and staying clean on TV. A couple little mistakes.
Amber does not need a mark, correct?
Amber does not need a mark. Amber just needs good count.
So she may experiment a little bit, either with her line to the pocket, either by moving her feet or target on the lane, or possibly even a different ball choice.
Good post at the line. The thumb finishing just outside the ear.
Oh, I didn't think it was going to fall, but that's 3 light ones in a row.
And that's something that can loosen you up for the rest of the afternoon here.
Well, it should. That and a trip to the bar.
And watch that head pin come back off the 4-pin and just take that 7-pin out.
Oh, she kicked it. No wonder. Is that legal?
It is. It was not directly contacting the pin, so I think we're okay. So Amber Kweessen going to move on to take on Katie Zwiefelhofer. They've faced each other numerous times in collegiate competition. And
look at that, almost solid 7-9, high flush in the pocket. So Amber's got it going now, but we know Katie is a formidable opponent.
And she's the defending champion of this tournament. So we're going to get to our commercial break. This game no longer in doubt. We'll be back with that semifinal match between Katie Zwiefelhofer and Amber Kweessen from Classic Lanes in Greenfield in just moments. Semi-final of the Wisconsin Women's Open coming to you from Classic Lanes in Greenfield. Amber Kweessen wins the opening match 238 to 197 to move up in the stepladder and face our defending champion here, Joe, Katie Zwiefelhofer.
Hard to pick a favorite. Amber's comfortable on the pair. Katie, not yet. But oh, that didn't take her long. She may get comfortable quickly, but we know Amber knows what it takes to score on this pair. Shooting a 238 opening game.
Yes, indeed. And watch, we've seen Katie do this for years now on our shows on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. From all the way when she was a junior in high school to now a college graduate, she's shredded her fair share of racks on TV.
Seems like a little bit of Ryan Zager's power is rubbing off on Katie.
I don't know. I think kind of Katie's power is rubbed off on Ryan.
Well,
I think the better bowler in that relationship. And a good break there for Amber to break up any possible split and leave a 6-10.
Yeah, Amber gets away with that one, and she should make the spare. And you know, the pattern could be breaking down for Amber. She's playing in a little deeper, a little softer ball speed. She's going to have to kind of chase that oil line in. And we all know what can happen when you do that. Sometimes your carry improves, other times it goes south.
And especially with slower ball speed, usually players with Amber's ball speed, if they make that move left, they usually have to throw a little farther right to keep the ball from overreacting so much on the back end. They can't battle the lane transition with speed. And so sometimes you need that right piece of equipment in your hand to get that little extra comeback.
Sounds very similar to what happens to senior bowlers, such as myself. As you get older, the ball speed is down a mile or two from when you're younger. And obviously, we still need to chase the oil in, but without high rev, sometimes your pin carry suffers some. That was a great shot off the hand.
Perfect 10 back for Amber Kweessen.
Let's see if this right lane plays similarly for Katie.
Well, we've bowled this pairs many times in the past on our shows from Classic Lanes in Greenfield, and sometimes lane 14 seems to hook a little harder on the back end. Overall, you see bowlers play just a couple of boards inside on the right lane.
And as you say that, it hangs a little bit, but Katie's got some speed behind her today.
Yeah, Katie's usually in the 17 to 18 mile an hour range for her ball speed. Strong revolutions. Lucky to get the break of the 2 taking the 5 out, otherwise shooting at a 4.58, that's a little unusual.
Goes direct at it, she would have made that 4.58.
Yes, indeed. Bowlers are tied after 2 frames. Katie, once again, defending champion of this tournament.
recent UW Whitewater graduate. Proud of that.
Starting grad school in the spring at Whitewater.
Has Katie picked a major she's going to grad school for?
Not sure. I was talking to her a little bit during qualifying today. Didn't get too much into what major. I know her major on her bachelor's degree was communication, so I'm sure it's something probably along that lines. And she's doing work for a nonprofit organization in Racine now that she's graduated. So probably something related with those two topics, communications and nonprofits.
We can see she's getting a nice strong ball reaction on lane 13. See if she makes some subtle adjustment on lane 14. So 14 could play tighter for Katie, but drier for Amber.
Especially because Amber, with her slower ball speed, is getting the ball a little farther out to the right.
Well, she kicked up her speed a little bit there. Gets that wall shot to work once again. That is a big double.
And a big 10-pin lead now for Amber Quishan.
I think Amber realizes that she can't get soft. So she may kind of get that ball in motion sooner, which may help quicken her pace to the foul line. Faster feet, faster arm swing speed equals more ball speed.
And you can see, even with this pattern being 41 feet long, that camera starts to pick the ball up at about a 45-foot range on the lane, 45, 46 feet. And you can see Amber's ball was still in a skid mode right when it entered that replay camera range. Then got a really strong hook and roll. Right there, you can see it in front of the pocket.
Yeah, set up perfectly there. Finished right behind the 5-pin. Well, both girls have a good look on this pair. Probably going to take at least 220 to win this match.
I would think, especially with that nice turkey after the opening spare for Amber. Katie using all of that approach with her 5-step delivery.
Well, she is a tall girl.
Nice and close to the foul line. Take the 10 out.
Just dig that 10-pin out of there with that 6-pin laying in the gutter. Takes a heavy roll to get that to happen.
And you watch both these young ladies, and whether it's a good shot, a bad shot, the demeanor's the same. The demeanor, they're walking back, they're getting focused on the next shot. They're not letting whatever happened on the previous shot affect what they're going into. And that's just some of the great college these bowlers are getting when they're in these collegiate programs, competitive collegiate programs, such as UW Whitewater for Katie and Robert Morris for Amber.
Almost an unusual lead for Katie. She avoids the 2-4-5-10. I've left one of those.
I've seen those a couple of times myself in the mirror image, the 3-5-6-7.
I watched that 10-pin fall late, and normally you might have gotten a little firm, but you definitely missed it at the bottom, and the ball just didn't have that drive. Again, her previous two shots on lane 13 finished very strong.
So that leaves Katie out of the running there for the high 5 gear gift certificate for the high 5 gear 5th frame, but Amber stepping up has her chance to earn $25 in high 5 gear cash. I want to thank High 5 Gear for throwing in a bonus $50 award to the highest finishing woman today that's wearing a High 5 Gear jersey, and Katie's Weefel offer with hers on, and our top seed Samantha Kelly has hers as well, so there could be a battle for that extra prize money on top of that $700 first place prize.
She almost gets that 7-pin to tip. And if she's playing lane 14 light, it's not a bad strategy because she's going high flush on 13 and throws about 3 pins toward that 7. Just none cooperate by knocking it down.
Yeah, the first game in the 10th frame on this lane, we saw that slow roller 7 fall very late. This time, no break for that. And we've only given away a $125 High 5 Gear gift certificate today in the 5th frame. Chris Holshoe received that in the opening match, but Samantha Kelly and whoever wins this game to face her, they'll have their chance for the $25 from High 5 Gear in our championship match as well. I want to thank Todd Molbeck and all of his staff at High 5 Gear for their support of the High 5 Gear 5th frame in our singles events this season.
Amber taking a little extra time composing herself after that bad break. Throws a great shot there off the hand, and almost too great, as when the ball finishes a little steep in the pocket or a little high pocket, and you get no deflection, that ugly 7-pin, solid 7.
That's 4 7-pins for Amber on pocket hits today. No 10 pins. That's very unusual for a right-hander.
But that's a good thing. I mean, too many 10 pins means your ball's just not reading the lane early enough or possibly not late enough. But when you're getting the 10 out, you're pretty much matched up. Just a bad break on that 7-pin.
We're going to get into our commercial break for our semifinal match. Join us back at Classic Lanes Greenfield for the rest of this game.
Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com.
Semifinal 2015 Wisconsin Women's Open from Classic Lanes in Greenfield. Katie Zwiefelhofer stepping up. 11 pins, the deficit for Katie to Amber Queeson at this point in time, but both these young ladies throwing it good. It's just a matter of who's going to find the carry on the lanes quickly.
Starting at the far back side of the approach. Nice long legs, good aggressive approach, and what a great shot off the commercial break. That's the Katie we've known to grow and love there. Just high, hard ones.
Well, she's one of the record-setting titleists on our Youth Challenge Series Tour from her competition days there. She's our defending champion here for the Wisconsin Women's Open, looking to become the first woman to repeat in the 8-year history of that event. And looking to get the deficit down to 1 pin. If she can double here in the 7th frame. Pretty solid out of her hand.
She's had 2 out of 3 on that lane, now 3 of 4 on 13. That is the better lane of the 2 so far for Katie. And she sent a little message to Amber there. I am here. I am not going away.
Yeah. All the battles they've had in college with Katie at UW Whitewater, Amber at Robert Morris out of Chicago. They've seen each other at that national championship team tournament more than once.
And we can see Amber's 5-step approach. Even with the shorter stature, still builds up good momentum to the line. That's a beautiful shot as she pops that 10 off the deck. Kind of a mini can opener there.
Yeah, gets that 5 splashing over in the 7 zone, and watch that 6-pin. Actually, the 3-pin took the 10-pin out before the 6 got there.
Something took it out. They kind of slid it off the deck. We don't care how the corner pins go down, do we, Phil?
I don't care if my ball would hit the 7 or 10 pin to take it out every shot. If it got me a strike, I'm happy with it.
And oh, that looked good getting there, but it kind of a little bailed out on the back end a little bit. Soft 10 pin. Only Amber knows for sure if that came off her hand as cleanly as she'd like it to. Because it looks good there, and just a little deflection. And we see that from Norm Duke, Pete Weber. You can't get the ball off your hand picture perfect every time. Just the timing of it was not great because she was on the strike, but she does convert the spare.
Still stays up by 1 pin, but Katie Zwiefelhofer can take a 9-pin lead if she gets her string of strikes out to 3 in a row on this shot in the 8th frame.
Well, I'm going to add up all the opens we've seen so far today, and that number would be 0.
You mentioned earlier about how good these players are with spare shooting, and they are proving that this afternoon. Even Chris Holshoe with a couple of washouts she converted in our opening match. Not so easy spares there.
Well, Katie threw a great shot. She liked it off her hand, and carrying the tougher of the 2 lanes. That's a big turkey and a new leader.
9-pin lead for Katie Zwiefelhofer, and watch that ball just go chugging through the pocket. 8th, the last pin to go. A little tease there about going down as she knew it was good out of her hand. And see your dad, first one to start applauding on that shot. Steve always here at the tournaments, helping out with a little bit of coaching, whatever Katie needs as things go along. We've seen Steve for many years at these events.
My guess is Katie doesn't need too much coaching most of the time.
No.
She knows her game. She's young. Great follow through. Might have been a touch left off the hand, but with good roll, she flushes it, and that pretty much salts the match away.
19-pin lead going into the 10th frame. Amber Queeson, her maximum score right now, 238. And Katie right now, that would force Katie to get a mark in the 10th. So Amber needs everything going off the sheet to put any pressure on Katie in the 10th frame.
That makes that 10 pin she left in the previous frame on the left even more important.
Looks really good out of her hand, Joe. And
that's cruel, Phil.
That just took the wind out of everybody's sails here at Classic Lanes Greenfield. And that's going to end her efforts towards that title today as well.
Yeah, that is a heartbreaking 8-pin, and It was just picture perfect off the hand. No deflection.
You can't throw it any better than that in a clutch situation, and just a terrible break for Amber Queeson is going to get her third place money today here at the Wisconsin Women's Open, but a great showing. She was our leading qualifier, so for the 2016 edition, already scheduled here at Classic Lanes Greenfield, she'll have a free entry for that event. Thanks to Gina's sponsorship.
You know, Phil, excuse me, whoever thinks this is a young person's game might be correct. We have 3 young ones on this show today that are showing us the way the game is played today. It's a different game than what you and I grew up with learning as she throws her lone errant shot. Not the way you want to end the show, but...
No, she pretty much knew the match was over and just trying to get out of your opponent's way while they finish.
Let's see if she can give us a highlight shot here. Cross lane, trying to slide that 6-spin over. Not quite.
200 on the head for Amber Queeson, and that third place check she'll be walking out the door with today. I want to thank our sponsor again, Classic Lanes Greenfield, and Gina Darashevsky for hosting this event and kicking into the prize fund to make that $700 first place prize possible. Katie looking to finish out strong, maybe find something going into the next match. You know she has a tough opponent, Samantha Kelly.
I don't think Katie can find much better than what she has look-wise on the lane. I mean, that's a little young 5-bagger. She can finish with 2 more here and finish with a 7-bagger. But, you know, even when the ball is deflecting slightly, the pins don't have a chance.
The good, solid ball speed she has behind each shot. The strong roll going into the pocket is the key to getting all those pins out.
Pretty good shot there. Leaves a wrap 10. So she can finish out for, is it 230, 240?
246 is her maximum here. And Katie Zwiefelhofer is going to be taking on Samantha Kelly. Katie looking to go back-to-back Wisconsin Women Opens titles, and Joe Serrano will be back in Classic Lanes in Greenfield for that title match after this break. Join Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Dwight Albrecht, and Phil Brilo as they discuss the PBA Tour and highlights of local bowling on the Spare Time Bowling Show, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. The bowling fans, you waited all day for the championship match here from Classic Lanes in Greenfield, the Wisconsin Women's Open 2015 edition. Katie Zwiefelhofer looking to go back-to-back. But standing in her way, Samantha Kelly. And Joe, there is no favorite in this match with these 2 young guns out on the lanes.
Well, that's it. And we predicted 220 at least last game for the title, and I would say at least 220 or 230 it's going to take to win this title match.
Picking up where she left off last game, Katie Zwiefelhofer with the scrambling strike to open this match.
Puts that wrist support on. One of the adjustable types that you can change both laterally as well as front to back.
Samantha Kelly now living in Waukesha, relocated here recently from Northern Illinois. You can see her boyfriend in Cardinal Red back there, Eric Fritton, great bowler in his own right over the years in many events here in Wisconsin and across the country. And Eric Fritton trying his luck at the World Series of Bowling this year. That'll be happening.
Well, we got to wish Eric lots of luck from Milwaukee. Great opening shot for Sam.
And as you mentioned, Joey, it's going to take probably 220 or better to win this game. There's no backing off for either one of these players as they're going through throwing strikes to open this match.
Yeah, both girls put a heavy roll on that ball, not a lot of side spin or rotation. And that helps kind of control the motion down lane.
Samantha Kelly, great college player in her own right as well. Now the collegiate career is done.
Nice and low at the line, great follow through, and definitely destroyed that rack.
Nothing but strikes so far on this championship match. Classic Lanes in Greenfield. Watch the replay of Samantha's ball. Just a little deflection there, but
Yeah, but like with Katie's, even with some deflection, those pins are going airborne, and that just shows testament to the power created by their release and product in hand. It's an important shot for Katie.
Kind of fell off that one a little bit.
Yeah.
Balance not great at the line,
And
but
she feels fortunate to catch that double. Stays even with her opponent. Yeah, she might have just missed it a little inside of target.
that's one thing a lot of quality bowlers don't get enough credit for is they know they can feel something's wrong when the ball's coming down the swing, and they just stay relaxed with it and let it get through on that same target line, and maybe a board or two left or right of where they want to go, but it starts out of their hand in the same direction it's supposed to. It's not slightly out to the right or slightly inside to the left, and it stays pretty close to the pocket. And a good break for Katie in that last shot, and a bad break here.
You say that, the ball creeps high, but you're right. Their swing direction is generally straight and very consistent, and no one's going to hit the same board shot after shot. And I don't think Katie was disappointed with that shot off her hand, but obviously disappointed with how the ball reacted down lane.
Well, a big opening early for Katie. That's going to put her down by at least 18 pins to Samantha Kelly. And Samantha, working on a double here, can extend that lead to 28 pins if she can get to 3 in a row. She's using a new ebonite ball. I believe it's called a Paradox, Joey?
That would be from Track.
Okay.
Made by Ebonite International is the parent company. And it's a hybrid cover, asymmetric core design, kind of a tall core. Gets down the lane pretty easy, but definitely revs up nice and quick. Very stable through the hook zone.
Needing to get a little more hook zone on that shot.
But I don't think she cleared that off her hand the way she did the previous shots. And she's fortunate to leave 9. I mean, you can leave some strange leaves when you just don't put a good release on it. Could have been a 2-7-8 for that matter.
And that is no easy conversion with the 2-7-8, even as a right-hander hooking into the shot. There's a lot of ways to not get that 7-pin out. Easy with the 2-pin here. Of course, as soon as I say easy, she makes it very interesting. Just tickling that pin down. Gives herself a 17-pin lead after 3 frames.
That keeps you loose too when you make a spare and barely make it. That's got to loosen you up a little bit. At least you got away with it and filled the frame.
You can see the safe sign coming up there in the replay of Samantha at the foul line as she watched that ball go down lane. See if it keeps the swing loose and gets her back striking here in the 4th.
Well, I'm curious if she's going to move on that lane since Katie came high on it. And Sam's speed slightly softer. But she did not move, just threw a great shot, but she's a little deeper inside than Katie.
Yeah, quality players. You see Samantha going back to talk to Eric Fritton, who helps out with advice here and there as needed, and Katie has her father here as well, Steve, that gives advice as needed. But see both of these bowlers just kind of going back and just relaxing between shots. They're both in the pocket, and they're really not looking for a lot of extra help at this point in time.
Yeah, right. They don't want to put any undue pressure on each frame coming up just because of the importance of the match. I mean, you want to make great shots, but it's like no other situation. Even practice, you should put the same effort into every shot.
Absolutely. Well, strike there by Katie keeps her within 17 pins, and we're getting into the high 5 gear 5th frame. Not only the $25 gift certificate for high 5 gear for bowler strikes in this frame, but also there's a $50 bonus award today for the highest finisher wearing a high 5 gear jersey, and that extra $50 is going to the winner of this match. Both these ladies outfitted in high 5 gear finery.
Predict they both strike. Ooh, and I got lucky on the first one.
The aggressively tripped 4-pin. That 4-pin almost all the way back out to the head pin spot by the time it finished.
That's a couple high shots now for Katie on that lane, but she is a little further right compared to where Sam was playing.
So that may definitely require a move next time up for Katie on that lane. Another $25 from high 5 gear up for grabs here for Samantha Kelly. Also to try to maintain her lead back out to 17 pins with another strike. Little left to target, and the high hard one holds on that lane.
High flush, she's planted her feet just at the right spot on the approach, and that's being lined up. When you're lined up and you can miss a touch left and a touch right and have good pin carry, you are in the sweet zone.
Yes, indeed. And both bowlers 4 strikes in the first 5 frames, the difference in this match. That big 4 left by Katie Zwiefelhofer in the 3rd frame. Samantha Kelly looking to get her lead out to 37 pins if she can get another strike here in the 6th. Looks a little left target, definitely left target, and a big break there to leave just a 3-pin.
Yeah, that definitely was high right off the hand, and could be a little bit of the lane, could have been a little bit of her, or a little of each, but again, she gets away with 9, should be able to make the spare.
She'll move over the left side of the approach, switch to a urethane bowling ball to keep the ball from hooking too much, and no problem covering up as we get into our last commercial break of the day. We'll be back in Classic Lanes in Greenfield with the rest of this championship match for the 2015 Wisconsin Women's Open after this break.
Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com.
4.5 frames to go here. Championship match, 2015 Wisconsin Women's Open. Katie Zwiefelhofer down in the match, looking to get close to even here if she can get a strike in frame number 6. And can't quite get the 10 out on a high hit.
Yeah, and that's unusual where you see a trip 4 and yet the 10-pin stand, so Katie will have to move left with her feet on that lane next time up.
Yeah, she's gone high the last 2 shots. She got lucky and tripped out a 4-pin last time up before the commercial break.
And she shouldn't be hesitant to move in. She's got enough hand and revs on the ball to move left and not fear of leaving a 5-pin in the pocket.
17 pins the deficit now for Katie Zwiefelhofer to Samantha Kelly with 4 frames remaining in this game.
Well, we all know it's not as important how you start, it's how you finish the match, and Katie known to string some strikes in the latter half, and I think Samantha might be that same type of player.
Yeah, Katie, late 5-bagger in her semifinal match to lock that up against Amber Quisian. And that one, another ball comes up high for Katie, and she is starting to struggle a little bit.
Well, we don't see this from her game too often. Katie normally blisters the 1-3, shot after shot, but when patterns go away, they can go away quickly, and if Katie's moving in, which she probably is, she may be moving into some of the other players' track who were left of her in earlier matches.
Yeah, Amber Quisian definitely was left to her.
Exactly.
Chris Holshoe in the opening match was playing very straight through the front part of the lane and could be affecting the mid lane as well. And now a 20-pin lead for Samantha Kelly coming off the bench in the 7th frame.
So instead of a typical, say, a 2-in-1 board move, 2 left with her feet, 1 with her eyes, she may have to make a 4 or 5 board move with her feet. And sometimes you know what happens. You got to make a ball change too.
Yeah, sometimes that's tough to do with only a couple frames remaining in the match, but no time to not commit to an action right now when you're down by 20 pins. Samantha Kelly working on a spare in the 6th. Looking to strike in the 7th. Gets that 7-pin out.
Yeah, and I'm sure she's fortunate to carry that. Might have bumped in a little deeper herself on there. Just tickled that head pin, but we've seen a lot of light pocket strikes carry today.
Not very many 10 pins by our competitors on the lanes today. Amber, of course, left the majority of 7 pins out there on her pocket hits.
And you won't see 10 pins too often on light hits. You'll see them more on the flush variety.
Looking for a double and a 30-pin lead. That is left out of her hand through the nose. And oh my, break of the year there for Samantha Kelly.
Break of the year, not just because it's in the 8th frame, but it gives her another 10 pins onto her 20-pin lead.
Watch the replay, and the 9-pin falls into the 10, gets bumped forward into the 6, and the 6 falls into the 3. And you can see right there, she knows it's a bad shot. And you get the good break on a bad shot, you got to take advantage of it if you're Samantha Kelly.
Well, you can't control the good or bad breaks sometimes, and Katie, kind of a bad break on a soft 10. She made the right adjustment on the lane. Some days, you know, as Jeff Riggle says, you're the dog, and other days you are the fire hydrant.
Katie right now, her maximum score, 217 if she strikes out in the 9th and 10th with a spare here, which she has a spare in the 8th. Right now, though, Samantha Kelly working on 230 pace with a spare and a strike in there.
Yeah, Katie continuing her string of probably 5 consecutive years without missing a spare.
Taking a little extra time in the approach. You can't blame her right now. It's not over, but she knows without this strike in the 9th frame, there would be no chance for her to defend this title.
Taking some deep breaths and just relieving herself of any anxiety. It might be harboring itself. Goes through the normal pre-shot routine. Nice aggressive shot. And you can't throw it any better than that, no matter if you're a guy or a girl.
Glimmer of hope left for Katie Zwiefhofer with that strike, but a lot of it right now, all that matters. Samantha Kelly, a couple of marks on the board in the 9th and 10th. She will go home as the 2015 Wisconsin Women's Open champion.
A strike here pretty much salts it away.
Strike here, she would just need good count. First ball of the 10th frame.
It's a knee bend going. 5-step approach, as is Katie. Nice and low. Almost looked like she got a little lower at the foul line there. A little better leverage. And she is going to be our champion, Phil.
Yeah, right now, if she gets 7 pins on the first ball, she would be the winner of this event. Pardon me, 8 pins on the first ball would make her a winner. 7 or less and an open could still give a little glimmer of hope.
She's 41 pins up.
Yeah. That's a little left target there. And well, now we got to check our scoring here, Joey. Because
you better. Yeah, that's not our strong suit sometimes.
No. So 193. She needs 3 pins here. That would give her 3 pins would give her 219, and that would be enough. She only got 2 pins off this spare. It'd be 217, and Katie could strike out and tie. So right now, 3 pins for Samantha Kelly, and she'll wrap up this Wisconsin Women's Open title. 219 would be her total with 3. Gets the 3 down as needed.
Yeah, a strike there would have given her a 41-pin lead in the 9th, but that 5 count definitely ate up that score.
Yeah, 219, the final score for Samantha Kelly, and she walked away. She's not happy. I'm sure she realizes that she's now the Wisconsin Women's Open champion, and she's taking home $750 thanks to the High Five Gear apparel bonus.
Yeah, that left lane, with her 2 high shots, one in the 8th, one in the 10th, could have been her undoing, but with the fortunate break between strikes, Katie is just going through the motions, obviously, but...
Yeah, that 8th frame strike, when it went through the nose and tripped out the 3, 6, 9, 10, even if just one of those pins stands, that's a 21-pin difference in this match, and Katie had a chance to step up and win on these shots. Instead, Katie Zwiefhofer, after winning the 2014 Wisconsin Women's Open, can't defend the title, finishes in 2nd place. Still a good $350 payday for Katie as well. And she was bowling off of a free entry as the high qualifier from last year's tournament, so that's nothing but pure profit for Katie today.
Right, but both girls deserve their finishes, and Katie being the gracious loser she is, even though she rarely is a loser in a title match. I'm sure we'll congratulate Sam.
Absolutely. 216 the final for Katie Zwiefhofer. 219 for Samantha Kelly, your champion this year for the 2015 Wisconsin Women's Open. We'll be back to wrap up the show after the short break.
Barbier's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mountain Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee. Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com.
Well, Joey, we knew that last match with Samantha Kelly and Katie Zwiefhofer was going to be down to the finish, a nail-biter all the way through. that fortunate break that Samantha Kelly got in the 8th frame. Should have left the 3, 6, 9, 10. Pins tumbled down. She got the strike. And after that big Greek church in the 10th frame, that was just enough for Samantha Kelly to hold on and win this Wisconsin Women's Open title.
Yeah, I mean, both girls could have won this title easily. I mean, fortunately for Sam, she came out on top. But I'll tell you, we know how bowling can be. It can be kind to us at times, and it can be brutal. And she was fortunate to come out on top today.
Yeah. So Samantha Kelly, $750 she takes home as the winner of the Wisconsin Women's Open. More bowling coming up, thanks to our friends here at Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Our next event, the high school season, is going to be in full swing, Joey. Our high school mixed doubles championship coming to us from Motion Plus Lanes and Cudahy. Always good quality high school bowling, so make sure you stay tuned for that. It's the holiday season. You need anything bowling related, especially those gift certificates for your favorite bowler. You can see Joey down at Bowlers Pro Shop in South Hall Avenue, Milwaukee. And for my friend Joe Serrar, I'm Phil Brylow. Parents, take the kids bowling. They'll have fun for life. Take them out during the holidays, and we'll see you on our next show from Motion Plus Lanes.